Officials make their first public statements after Israel and Hamas reach a ceasefire deal to release hostages.
There are so many questions, but we are learning that the deal will free at least 3 Americans. They are among the 50 women and children that will be released in exchange for 150 Palestinian prisoners. This all will happen during the temporary multi-day ceasefire. According to the AP, the hostages release will not take place before Friday.
Now, this deal marks the first de-escalation effort since the war began last month between Israel and Hamas. Now, Fox 26's Natalie He spoke with a man whose grandparents were abducted. She joins us now live in the studio with their message tonight. Natalie.
Well, Caroline, that man tells me his grandparents live a mile away from the Gaza Strip. He says they were violently kidnapped from their home on October 7th. His grandmother released 2 weeks later because of health concerns, but his grandfather to this day remains in captivity. Now, that man visited Houston last week to raise awareness about the hostage situation. Tonight, he's pleading with the public to help bring home the rest of the nearly 200 hostages.
It should be something so devastating for the world to think that someone like that is a hostage in Gaza, someone that fought all his life for peace, for the rights of the Palestinians, for the right of the minorities.
For 46 days and counting, Daniel Lifshitz has anxiously waited for any news of his grandfather, 83-year-old Oded Lifshitz. Oded and his wife, 85-year-old Yoheved, were violently kidnapped by Hamas from their home. Daniel says his grandmother was released 2 weeks later after she became ill, but Oded's whereabouts remain unknown.
I mean, those people can survive probably for the few weeks, but now it's becoming very difficult, and we start to hear about hostages that are dying in captivity.
So in Hebrew it says, our hearts are being held hostage in Gaza, and in English it says, bring them home now.
Israel Consul General Livia Link-Raviv wears this necklace every day to serve as a reminder of the nearly 200 hostages like Oded that remain in captivity in Gaza. Starting Friday, Israel and Hamas will begin a temporary truce in which Hamas has agreed to release 50 civilian hostages.
The American administration, and especially President Biden, had a crucial role in facilitating those negotiations, as well as Egypt and Qatar.
In exchange, Israel will release 150 prisoners who were indicted for their previous involvement in terror activities. It's a deal the Consul General says was made with a heavy heart.
We're talking 50 versus 150. Why agree to a number that seems so lopsided?
It goes back to the values. Israel values life.
As the war continues, Daniel has one special request this holiday season.
Every table in Thanksgiving, if I can ask, add another chair, put one red balloon and a picture of a hostage, and make a place for him to come back home as well.
Now, we reached out to the organization KRIV, the Council on American Islamic Relations. In a statement, they said a few days of ceasefire is not enough. They're now asking for President Biden to demand a complete ceasefire. In the studio, Natalie He, Fox 26 News.